There was a cat named Gramps. When someone first found him, he was wandering the streets. The long coat of this Persian mix had been neglected for so long that it had matted and hardened, and he was carrying that weight with his entire body. Deep inside his fur were parasites, and the severe matting pressed against his skin, leaving a deep wound on his leg. That wound had been hidden under his fur for so long that no one had noticed. He was walking the streets like that, carrying his pain alone. Fortunately, someone found him and brought him to the SPCA West Vancouver Centre. The staff who saw him upon arrival was speechless. The severely matted fur could not be untangled by hand, and in the end he had to be sedated so his entire coat could be shaved off. When he woke from sedation, he was a small, frail senior cat with fur, trimmed short like a lion. Centre manager Sarah Henderson says his heavy mats were pulling on his skin and hid a deep laceration on his leg. We are so thankful someone found him and was able to bring him to our centre so we could get him the care he desperately needed. The name given to him was Gramps. As his name suggests, he was old. His exact age was unknown, but the centre staff classified him as a senior cat. Not young, sick, and wandering the streets without a name. The adoption listing went up, but honestly, few people choose a senior cat, especially one with such a special story. Most people want kittens. They want cats that are cute, healthy, and that they can spend a long time with. But Cheryl and Dean were different. This couple had recently said goodbye to their cat Figaro, with whom they had lived for 15 years. 15 years, sharing such a long time with a living being means it becomes part of your life, beyond just companionship. After Figaro was gone, the house fell quiet, and that quietness sometimes became a kind of pain. For a while, neither of them could prepare themselves to welcome a new cat. After losing Figaro, it took some time to get used to the idea of bringing another cat into our home, says Cheryl. We are at an age when having a young cat just doesn't make sense. It might outlive us. So the only criterion they chose was simple, an older cat. And they met Gramps. Cheryl remembers the moment she first saw him like this. We weren't expecting a Persian cat with a lion's cut, but the moment she heard that he had been a lost stray, that he had needed sedation because of how badly matted his fur was, her heart moved. And Gramps chose for himself. He climbed up Cheryl's leg, settled into her lap, and quietly began making biscuits, as if he already knew everything, as if he already knew that this person was his person. In that moment, we just knew that Gramps was going to be part of the family. Gramps settled in quickly, but what surprised Cheryl and Dean even more was his relationship with the grandchildren. Figaro was not a fan of children. When the grandkids came to visit, he would go off and hide somewhere in the house and never approach them first. So they assumed Gramps would do the same. But Gramps was different. Even when the 2-year-old and 5-year-old grandchildren came over and reached out without much care, Gramps did not move away. Instead, he sat still and let himself be petted, without avoiding the children's hands, without fear, simply accepting. Perhaps the years spent enduring all kinds of things on the streets had made him a more generous and deeper soul. He now naps on a soft mat in front of the fireplace. Cheryl says, after spending time outside as a stray, I am sure he is enjoying the warmth. When night comes, Gramps climbs up onto the bed. He tucks himself under Cheryl's neck and falls asleep, purring loudly. The only downside is that when Cheryl gets up in the middle of the night, Gramps claims her pillow and refuses to move. It takes a little time, says Cheryl with a smile, but I eventually get him back to the middle of the bed. During the day, he sits in front of the French doors and gazes outside. Just beyond the doors is a bird feeder that attracts blue jays, starlings, and sparrows. Gramps watches the birds through the glass, making soft chattering sounds. That unique sound cats make, as if speaking to the birds. the body that once endured the cold out, there now watches the birds from inside a warm window. He enjoys walks too. When the harness was put on him for the first time, he did not resist, as if he had always been waiting for this kind of life. He accepted it naturally from the very first day. The back of this grandfather cat, walking slowly through the fenced yard, looks like peace earned after a long and difficult journey. Christmas is coming. Gramps has already shown a fondness for the garlands and decorations. The grandkids are excited to spend the holidays with him, and so are Cheryl and Dean. Where was Gramps at this time last year? He was probably walking somewhere in the cold wind, without a name, without anywhere to go. But this year is different. Nestled into warm blankets and gentle hands, he welcomes the end of the year, surrounded by a family who adores him. I learnt something very simple but important from this story. In this world, there are beings who deserve to be loved, even if they are not glamorous, even if they are not young, even if they carry wounds. And the moment that love reaches them, they change. Or perhaps they never stopped making biscuits from the very beginning, waiting for that love all along. Gramps seems to be asking us something. Among the beings beside you, is there someone still waiting for a warm hand? Even if they are old, even if they carry wounds, even if they are not glamorous, those beings deserve to be loved. If we open our hearts just a little wider, life warms in ways we never expected. Gramps is proof of that. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to our channel. There are so many stories here of animals like Gramps, who endured a hard world and finally found a warm hand waiting for them. We bring you a new story every week. If you hit subscribe, leave a like and turn on notifications, you will never miss a single one. Thank you so much for staying with us until the end today.